Okay, welcome to our Insight Talk, Insight Sharing, Wisdom of Action, Thursday nights, and Om Shanti. It's very nice to see you all here in person. Do you feel this? It makes a difference compared to being on Zoom? It does, right? So again, very warm welcome, especially to those of you who have come. And I also want to apologize from our side. For tonight, we had announced a panel discussion. As you can see, it's not going to happen tonight. We will do it another time. For different reasons, we had to change the program slightly. But everyone is still warmly invited to share their story of peace if you would like to, because that was part of the evening. So if there will be space and time, if you have a story of peace to share, yeah, you're most welcome to do so. And so for this evening, I thought to share a little bit on peace is a quality. Actually, September 21st is the International Day of Peace. And so we decided to focus the whole month on that quality, is to experience peace, feeling peaceful individually, but then also we also wish peace to be in the world, is something that is in all of our hearts, and it does start with us, with me, with each one of us. It starts within, and then it can be shared and extended outwardly with others, those around us. And also, if I start to feel peaceful, then those vibrations will go in the atmosphere. And then a peaceful atmosphere becomes a great support for those who are in fear or distress or peacelessness. So, simple question. What do you think is more natural, to feel peaceful or to feel distressed? What is more natural? Not necessarily what is it that we experience mostly, but if you think about it, what is more natural when you connect to your heart, to your inner being? Peace, definitively. Everyone agrees? That's why, that's one reason probably why we also have interest learning to meditate and exposing ourselves to spiritual wisdom, so we can bring more peace in our lives. Same with joy, happiness. We have a list of 32 divine virtues. There are innate qualities in each one of us when it comes to the being, but not the doing, because that is something that we have lost. To bring the aspect, the qualities of the being into our doing. But then in relationship, when we meet each other, those divine virtues come into not necessarily existence, but are being expressed. Kindness, respect, fearlessness, determination, sweetness, contentment. All these qualities are very, very important. And I think we all agree that they are natural to us. Because otherwise, why do we search for it? Why do we want it? Simply because this is natural to us, but they have become diminished. We have lost them to some degree, right? So why do we become peaceless? Why do we become peaceless? What are reasons that we lose our peace? There must be reasons, right? But then on the other side, if I had it and I'm doing something that is not accurate and causing peacelessness in my own being, then who can change it? So that is really where the empowerment comes and responsibility. So in that whole according to time, there is a call of time for all of us. You have to ask yourself, what is your call of time? But definitively, overall, the call of time is to step up for the self. Take responsibility for the self in the sense not depend on what others give me or start to take in things that are not healthy for me. So this is a key element that I have been learning and enjoy practicing. We all want to do good. We want to help, but we also have become very, very good in taking in things that are not healthy for us. We take things, what people say, personal. We take sorrow into our hearts and hurt, damage, harm the self. So the idea for this evening is I have a very nice booklet here with a lot of wisdom, and thought to read out few points, and we will discuss each one. So we will look at aspects that cause peacelessness, that make our peace go away, but then also what is the solution? Because that's what we are interested in, right? Nikki, can you take the microphone, please? So then everyone can, and just turn it on. Yeah, you know how to handle mics.
It's almost like when you find something in your life that gives you peacelessness, you have to look at it and wonder which divine virtue is like can bring the opposite of it.
That's a very good point.
And to put it into like the solution is to find divine virtue with yourself.
The principle basically is, if goodness is natural and it is innate in the being, if I don't use it, or if I forget or believe that I don't have it, I will not use it. But because it's original part of me, I will still want it, need it. So I start to want and take it from sources that really can't give it to me, not in a sustainable way. So if I don't use my goodness, if I don't use the divine virtues, like for example, kindness, respect, a very important one, respecting the self, respecting each other, respecting nature, respecting animals is very, very important. So if I don't do that, if I don't use these qualities, you can say that's the light, right? just to stay with the example of respect. Respect is the light, kindness, sweetness is the light. So if there is no light, what is there? Absent, yeah, if there's no light, it is dark. And that's what negativity is. Negativity, waste, emerges in a way natural, and it becomes a habit when there is no light. So in terms of solution then, it's not about fighting with the darkness. And this is actually a main aspect that brings peacelessness. Our attitudes towards what is not good, what I don't want. And there are many harmful things, actions committed, and behaviors of people, including our own, many times is not really appropriate. But then, how I react or respond to that, I think that is the key. If I recognize that I made a mistake, I have hurt the feelings of someone, I spoke with anger, I was not respectful, that person needed to be heard and listened to so much, but I had no time. For whatever reason, I did not give time to listen to that one. So maybe afterwards I will regret, right? So whatever it is, if I'm honest, if I have the courage to be honest, I will admit to myself, okay, I made a mistake. So what do I learn from that mistake? And move on. But most of the times we become angry with the self or with others. We want to punish someone not doing the way I want, including myself. I don't live up to my own expectations. And then I start to beat myself up. I start to punish myself. So this punitive attitude towards what I consider is not right, or what I don't like or don't want, we start to punish. We get angry. We withdraw the love. We give the silence treatment and stop communicating. Maybe even not even looking at that person anymore. And creating a hell of negative thoughts. The mind starts to run because I have a lot to say, but I don't have the courage to face the person. So in my mind, then I play it out. And of course, if there is this kind of, how do you call it, dispute going on in the mind, who will win? The other one I have let in, or I? I will win. I will be right. I'm telling off because I am right and I know better how you should be, how you should not be, what you should do, and why did you do. So we're telling others off in our mind then also. Doesn't this happen many times? Yes.
It's not only how we react, but for how long, right?
That's, yes, that's another aspect. It's not just a matter. One is the reaction, how I react. And like, for example, someone says something to me and I feel hurt. someone says something inappropriate or makes an inappropriate comment. That one says it one time, right? So my feelings are affected. I turn around and walk away. All the way home, I keep repeating in my mind what happened. Then I call someone, I talk to my partner, or I call up someone. We speak, we think about it, we speak about it, and it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. Yes, the microphone.
Okay, so a long time ago, I realized that there's a big difference between reacting and responding. They're two very different things, because reaction is usually connected with emotions.
Exactly.
You react emotionally and you react almost instantaneously. Where response is you take a second and you reassess, and then respond is from your head, not necessarily from your emotions and from your heart. And I think it is important. And the older I am, I become, I think it serves me well to think that way, because I find myself very rarely reacting. I guess it's like it's an exercise, and the more you do it, it becomes a habit. So that's, what I wanted to stress, because when you react with emotions, it doesn't take you to a good place.
Right. Very nice, yeah. So through the practice of meditation, for example, learning about spiritual knowledge, we learn and practice to move from being reactive to becoming a responder, to respond to situations or circumstances, to people, right? And the main difference is, as you said, if I respond, I stop, pause, and consider, and I choose, right? And that is wise to do, because otherwise, if we emotionally react, that's where, conflict is created, arguments and all of these things. So these are all very, very important aspects. So basically, if goodness is innate to us, and we start to violate universal natural laws, if we start to deviate from what is ultimately true, not necessarily visible, but the innate goodness of the being, the original eternal harmony, unity within and among us, where differences are not threatening to us, but where differences are a part of enrichment. Just imagine you have to eat the same food every day. So variety is, everyone enjoys variety in terms of food, for example, and that's true at every level. So however, out of insecurity, inferiority, lack of self-respect, out of ignorance, many times also a combination with being weak, spiritually weak, we move away from what is true. We start to compromise. And that's where we are violating natural laws. What is natural, what is original, what is eternal. And on the spiritual path, we're learning about those laws and how to realign myself. And so, like for me, my mom, many times she told me, Ines, be positive, be positive. You know, many times I got really fed up when she kept telling me, be positive, tell me how to be positive here. And it's actually many situations, it's not possible to be positive. However, when I came on this spiritual path, and I think all of you have been here, most of you, if not everyone, has been hearing about soul and that there's a being, I am that being in this body, right? So connecting to the spiritual, to the invisible, the one who experiences everything, but is not visible. I, the being that that thinks, feels, experiences, memorizes, makes choices, and I act through this body. So when we connect to the spiritual, the invisible, which is much more long living than that goes beyond the lifespan of the body, and is on a journey through time. And if we understand the secrets here, then I am able to connect with the goodness, with the original blueprint, with the original goodness in every being, independent of what anyone is acting out, how they are behaving, and what they are doing. So when we connect, when we maintain a spiritual awareness, I am not assessing, judging, drawing conclusions based on the moment, on what I see or what I hear, but I go beyond that. I am aware that there is a being, a soul in this body, and that soul also at one point was pure, peaceful, and originally completely good, and has a right to be here and to express like everyone else, independent of skin color, age, education level, and all these different physical labels. And that being, and the same applies to me, no? For example, at different times when we don't act in alignment to our conscience, for example, we're doing something that is harmful. So at that time, I am under some influence, or that one who is acting violently, for example. What is positive here in this scene? No, nothing. But when I see beyond the physical, I go beyond this moment. There was a time. And so unless I'm connecting to something that is good, that is elevated, that is pure, unless I do that, I come down to their level. And then I am adding to the problem. But I think we have enough problems in this world, right? So we are interested in the solution. We want to be part of the solution. And that's where, for example, very easy, very simple. It's only needs some determination and practice, ongoing practice. Om Shanti. Om, I am, I exist, I am here, and I am a living being. I am the soul, not the body. And Shanti means peace and stillness. We experience inner peace when the mind is calm and quiet. The mind can only be quiet, still having thoughts, but those thoughts are beneficial, encouraging, uplifting. Those thoughts are meaningful thoughts, not wasteful, unnecessary, or even negative. You understand? And so when the mind becomes peaceful, the mind becomes quiet. That means I don't think a lot. The weaker my thoughts are, the more selfishness is in my thinking, in my intentions and motives, and therefore then in my thoughts, the more I will think, the more needy I am, I want, I desire, or greedy. I don't know when to stop. I have already enough food, but still I want more. More money, more food, more this, more that. I don't know where to stop. Anger. I'm attaching myself to someone, to something, and I make that part. I live my life through them. I make them, how to say, it becomes part of my own self. So when the one or the thing I'm attached to is not there anymore or goes through some problems, I am in trouble. I experience sorrow. So if we more and more understand our true nature, our original state of being, we accept that from the heart, that I am light. There's the light of purity, peace and happiness, joy, bliss, peace. And I remind myself about that. And I also remind myself, of course, from time to time, I will have to reflect on certain principles. Like sometimes it feels like I have to tell you off, no? Or will you not listen to me? We go into these punitive attitudes, we use them, or even revenge. You not talking to me, so I'm not gonna talk to you. You behave like this, wait, I'm gonna behave the same way. You don't respect me, I'm not gonna respect you. I'm gonna turn my back on you. So this is what we do many times, right? But we may not be really honest with the self and not wanting to face it. That's also possible. We kind of push it aside, we ignore it. Do you think you can have a sound, deep sleep and wake up in the morning and being very happy about the new day, the new opportunities, all the good things you can do that day? No, it will affect my sleep. And in the morning, I will wake up not being happy. And how do I know what is appropriate? How do I know what is right at any given moment? How do we know? On what basis do we make decisions? If we reflect and not just react.
Well, it sounds like if you have an attitude of communication and keeping the communication open, that means you also have an attitude of good wishes because you have the desire for the communication, and that's a divine virtue. Whereas, so like what she said, like when you react, that's like a one-sided reaction, and there's no response, so it's not communication. It's just, this is what I want to say, and a response is a thoughtful means of communication, a thoughtful way to use your highest divine virtue in order to solve a solution or want to get to like this person or see the best.
Right, right. Seeing the best, being interested in reconnecting, being interested in harmonizing, being interested in resolving, in overcoming, in letting go. Yeah. So that means I'm interested to be happy. Microphone.
Yeah, very often the best response is just no reaction. And again, from my own experience, and I really am practicing, there's only one person in my life that knows how to push my buttons, and I still struggle. And still, as much as I logically understand why, my reactions are still there. And maybe because this is it's my mother, the person that's closest to me. But so I guess everybody has its own struggles, and it's just a continuum. You just learn all the time.
Learning is another keyword, right? For example, if we have an attitude of learning, no, Dadi Chanki, some of you might be familiar with that name. Maybe you have even seen her. She left the body already. She was I don't remember, 104, I believe. Yeah. And she was leading the organization for many, many years. An ocean of wisdom and spiritual power, love and peace. Until her last moment, she was learning. She considered herself to be a student of life. And this something when she shared, spoke from her experiences, shared her wisdom. It took me a while because I certainly did not have this attitude before I started this journey, learning in a certain context, but learning from everyone at every moment. So in other words, life circumstances and situations, they are not against me. Nothing and no one in this world is against me, can even be against me if I don't allow it. But nothing in life is against me, it's for me. We just need to understand that whatever there is in life, there is a lesson for me to learn. And then we need to get busy, of course, figuring out, understanding what is the lesson that I need to learn here. And many times it's connected with this game of reacting. There's an account, a negative account that has been created because I have been taking, wanting, expecting. There are different scenarios, but that's a common one. And that creates then that peacelessness, and it's not so easy to see what is it that I need to learn here. But when I'm reacting, I'm not positive. Like you were saying, there's, first of all, the other one will feel attacked. And When I'm reacting, I'm kind of out of control and it's always negative. It doesn't create good feelings. And yes, we have to come out of that, and we have to do that whole aspect of learning, of the willingness. I think it requires a lot of humility to be willing to learn. But if we take that courage, if we take that leap, make that jump, being courageous and allow the self to be humble and learn, it's so, so, so rewarding. And I find there's a lot of safety of at many different levels, mentally, emotionally, maybe it's sometimes even physically. If the more simple, being peaceful, peace has a lot to do with simplicity and being free of desires, being free of having the need to impose myself on others, of wanting and criticizing, shouldn't be like this, why are you doing this? You know, always or complaining. But this pointing out of weaknesses and this constant not being happy, constantly having to make a comment, nothing can be right for you. It creates a lot of problems. So the peace is gone, right? Yeah. Can you please repeat this? Is a very essential point again that you're mentioning. One aspect you were saying many times, people don't understand and not realizing the impact they have on others. And this is absolutely true. It's also something that I have been discovering and dealing with for years. And whatever situation I find myself in, so now the new attitude is to, okay, stop, pause, come back to yourself, give yourself time, and have the aim to understand and to learn here, no? Nowadays, everything is very complex. Energies are intertwined and nothing is really straight. In other words, usually there is not only one solution or overnight you can resolve a situation or something in your life. Different factors have to come together. And whatever step I take, whatever choice I make at every moment, it's adding up. And eventually, or as I'm moving along, I free myself more and more. So it's also to respect the self, to acknowledge this effort I'm making, being patient, forgiving, because maybe it takes much longer than I had ever anticipated. So even some kind of hopelessness can come in when you're dealing with certain situations, circumstances with people, this and that. So it is only, there's Brahma Kumaris is is a spiritual organization. It's run by women. We have also many very capable and powerful brothers. But the point the founder father made is the need at this point of time in the world are the feminine qualities. But we now know that those are in the soul and independent if I'm in a female or male body, every soul, and in our state, perfect state, in our state, original state of being, when we are complete and whole, full of divinity, full light, there's an absolute balance, a complete balance of the masculine and the feminine. So the gender applies to the body, but not to the soul. But to make a point to underline the importance of the feminine, the souls in female bodies have been put into leading organizations. So the feminine qualities very much relate to different expressions of love: compassion, mercy, kindness, forgiveness, tolerance. And you need inner power, you need inner strength in order to be kind, to have compassion, be compassionate, to be respectful, to be able to tolerate, to accommodate. And that in relation to my own, let me say it in the way that how I relate to my own self, in my own relationship with myself and in my relationship with others, then also these powers and qualities are needed. Mike, please.
Women through history have always seemed to be the keepers of these virtues, like through motherhood, I guess, through this maternal sense, but holding the good values instead of like versus the dark side.
And so to use these qualities for yourself as we move forward. So we will experience peace. Okay, lovely. So maybe I'll just read a couple of them because our time is will not allow that we go through it, but we have basically discussed the main points. It was very good. Life will bring obstacles and difficulties. They will come. I'm not going into the karma philosophy, but whatever we do is going to come back. So the situations I'm in now and circumstances is not by chance. They are connected to my past karmas. So we don't know and we don't have to know whatever we did in the past, right? We did good, but we also did few things that were not so good. So situations and circumstances, difficulties will come. They do not come to stop you. If we can just get that. They can strengthen you and help you progress with more experience. If I'm willing to learn, I get empowered. I become stronger mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Keep advancing. One day is not the same as another. Sometimes you do not have to find a solution. It is enough to keep moving. It is enough to keep moving forward, leaving the obstacle behind. Sometimes the most appropriate and healthy response is to simply be Om Shanti, be silent. But also in your mind, there's nothing to comment on. It is what it is. Exactly. But we think we have a lot to think all the time. And that's habitual, but also all the attitudes are not necessarily the best. There's a lack of understanding, lack of power also at times. It's good to ask yourself frequently in a very genuine way, do I choose to be happy or do I choose to be unhappy? Do I choose to be peaceful or not? Connect to your conscience. Stop, pause, go within, connect to your conscience. What is my conscience in? Conscience is part of the intellect and it is connected to that innate truth. And as we learn and move forward, it gets more and more refined. But the conscience is that guide, that inner guide. But we have to listen within. And the moment you do, you will know, don't do it. But many times we compromise, we don't listen, we just go ahead. And that's where is a violation towards my own self. I will have to pay the consequences of it. So the more I respect and regard myself and go within and listen to myself and learn to rely on yourself. Because only you and God will know what is best for you, and more so God even than we. But that's then the next step. But to first to go within. There are so many good ones. But now, leave worries aside and you will be surprised by the beauty of the sky and the color of the flowers, of the freshness of the breeze and the generosity of the sun. You will feel you are part of creation and life will start to make sense. The greatest wealth is to appreciate what we have and what we are. It's simple again, but peace is something experienced in the moment, not in the past and not in the future. If I worry, if there's some kind of anxiety, fear, worry will just enhance it. I'm in the future. I can never ever experience peace. It's impossible. We are not meant to live in the future nor in the past. Past has finished, does not exist anymore. It only lives on in my memories. And here it's within my power to put a full stop. However, if there things happened in the past, these scenes, these thoughts, these feelings will come back to you. Now, wisdom says, resolve it. I need to come to terms, resolve it, let go, forget, it's finished, move on. And to forgive, to let go is where I have to be proactive and let go instead of holding on to that thought, what you did. That thought, and however gruesome it was or terrorizing it was what someone did to me. But that thought, you did that to me, holds me in bondage. It's an iron chain. It will not allow me to be free, never. And we all have done this out of ignorance. But now when we come to know, we need to free the self and free others to have that generosity. And everyone, whoever it is, whatever anyone does wrong or did wrong at any point in time, no one can escape the consequences of their own actions. It is impossible. When it comes to justice, when it comes to justice, human beings want, I don't know, 90% or even more punishment nowadays. That's that's a personal assumption, estimate. I'm not, it's not an official number. Many think of punishing, no? I know of my own self. So we have to recognize this. And this has become common, no? We think, we believe it's normal. It is not.
Om Shanti, sister.
Only.
Sister, can I share my experience, recent
Yes.
experience of losing my peace?
Of
Can
finding
look-
your peace.
No, like, and then finding, but like for a moment, I lost my peace. So how I experience it, but then how I got my peace back.
Right.
So what happened? Couple days back, I received a letter from from my township, from the court official, and they said it was personalized letter, and the letter said that I have violated the code by covering the transformer pad. You know, like on the yard you have transformer pad, like electric pad. So by covering the transformer pad by landscaping, providing the landscaping, so you are blocking the access. So they said you have 24 hours, and if you don't clear the transformer pad access, then we're gonna provide the landscaper, and then you will have to go to court and you will have to pay all the fees. So then I just, when I saw it, I'm like, oh God, I don't know what happened here. What went wrong? So I lost my peace for a moment, and then I went outside and walked, and my the meter access, the water meter, electric meter, all access was nice and clear. So I took the photographs, and then my negative, I'm talking about my negative thoughts came. The negative thoughts, like 4 or 5 came, not like 50, but 4 or 5 came. And the first thought was like, maybe the court official put the wrong address. Maybe he took my wrong address. The second thought was like, maybe he has nothing else to do, so they found my home, and then but then positive thought came, like maybe I understood wrong, maybe I have violated something. And then negative thought again came, like maybe if I did, then so much extra cost and all this. But then so I called and then they put their cell number. I called, and generally they won't answer, so no answer in the morning. So then I went outside, and I'm like, I'm waiting. Good thing is, like, I started doing some other yard work, and positive thing is, like, I stayed outside, because of that, waiting for his call. So he won't call. So then positive thought came, like maybe they stay very busy in the morning, so he will call in afternoon. So the positive thoughts were like keeping me in a peace. So same thing, one negative thought comes right away, I was getting positive thought that, okay, maybe they stay busy, but they will call. But second time I called, he did not answer. So then I text, like, I need clarification, would you please call? So then the court official calls me, and then they said, and then I said, so I don't have any transformer pad. I don't know what I need the clarification. What exactly you saying? What I need to clear? And then they said that they got the order from the public works that, like everybody, they sent the letter to everybody, all 200 houses, like whoever are violating, they didn't want to call, like, so it was like general for everybody got it, like whoever violating, they have to do it. So they said, if you don't have transformer pad, you don't have to worry about it. So that was the thing. So many time, like we are so many things comes in a mind, but like I'm saying, like when you are positive, like, right away you keep your self calm with the positive thing, and, wait for clarification. And once you clarify, then you are good to go, until clarification, you have to remain calm. that's all I learned. And then just I help myself. Yeah. So I wanted to share. Yeah.
Yeah, Mita, thank you for sharing. Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true, no? This is what we're learning and what we're experiencing more and more and observing with our seniors, our elders who are much ahead on this journey. Like Sister Mohini, she gets everything done peacefully, day by day, moment by moment, day by day, month by year. And she even, becomes more and more powerful. We have to just realize we have to start somewhere. We just have to start working, connecting with the self and reflecting, having those thoughts, being willing. And we will start to realize more and more this whole being reactive, these emotional reactions, it just has become such a deep habit. That means in certain areas, especially with certain people, those who know how to push our buttons, the mind is very weak and very reactive. So it's a very nice practice what we can do. You take time for yourself for meditation, and in your silent moments, and you do it to the extent you can handle it, but repeat it. So because many situations have happened in the past where I lost it, where I reacted. So when you are empowered, connect to your higher potential, connect to your soul, to who you truly are, be in your light, and then think, how do you see yourself in this situation the next time? Visualize how you want to be, how you want to feel, how you want to behave, what you want to say, even your attitude. Get clear about that. And when you have reflected on that and have a clear vision about yourself, there's the provocation. And in the face of provocation, in the challenging moment, how do you see yourself at these different levels? And then in meditation, you empower yourself. Like I said, you go connect to the light and you bring up one of those past scenes in your mind, but only to the extent where it doesn't steal your peace, where you can handle it, right? And replace the old information with the new information. So in your mind, now you are in front of that person and you are seeing, you visualizing how you want to be. This is a very, very powerful exercise. It has even the power, the capacity to erase the old imprint. And so the next time, but we have to do it more than one time, right? And you will see, once I can do it in my mind, when the real situation is happening, I meaning in person, you will notice that you can handle it so much better. And so you will feel very empowered and encouraged next time to even make more effort. So once we can see that new me in my mind, that most of the work is done. But you will encounter all the different resistances in that exercise, right? So you need to be determined, but also be sensible. Don't force yourself. Force will not bring you success. Be gentle, patient, accepting, work with yourself, but be determined, keep going. And also be forgiving, because maybe until I get it right, even in my mind, a real situation encounter happens meanwhile, right? So maybe I get affected again. So you have to have a big heart for yourself. Learning to accept what is. And instead of dwelling on the problem and beating yourself up, just do what you need to do. Forgive yourself. Move on. Do not go into thinking. Full stop. But for that, you will have to be willing to actually face the pain in your heart. That is what we are running away from. And I need courage. But again, the pain, that emotion is just something I feel. And I'm afraid about it. So take God's help, take God's light, take courage and just face what I feel and put it in words. And the moment you can name it, you're almost free of it. Because the devil has power as long as the devil, the demon, is in the darkness. Ignorance, fear are ignorant, darkness. So the moment you face it, that means you put light on it. You face that this is how I feel. Oh my God, I feel so violated. I feel so hurt. I feel so betrayed. I feel so angry. And that takes a lot of force out of the game. And then it's just a matter to, on the one hand, you feel it, but remind yourself, this is not who I am. It's a creation of the past. Learn to accommodate it in order to eventually become free of it. That acceptance, it is what it is. It's not good, it's not bad. And once we are able to do that with the self, of course, your inner capacity keeps growing, your inner strength keeps building, but then we will also be able to do that with others instead of having the need to, to punish, to react. We will be able to accommodate their weaknesses and we are able to become part of the solution. Okay. So let's close with.
Very nice discuss. Very nice discussion, sister. Yeah, clarification. Very nice.
So let us sit quietly and body relaxed. And bring your focus of attention gently up to the center of the forehead. As behind the forehead is where the being, where I, the living being, the being of light, reside. I, the soul, the living energy, the conscious being of light, in my original state of being, I am pure, peaceful, blissful, loveful, wise, and powerful. Full stop. This is my original state of being. Embodiment of peace, embodiment of pure love, embodiment of bliss. Powerful, wise. As I, the being, traveled through time, having had many, many, many life's experiences, I forgot who I am. I forgot my inner treasures. I lost my power. The power to be loving, the power to be kind, forgiving, respectful, the power of peace. I turned towards the outer world. To get that love, that appreciation, that acceptance, acknowledgement of feeling safe. But I got it only temporarily. In the big picture, I actually got more lost. But now it is the time. Now is the moment where I reverse the journey. I'm coming back, I'm returning not only to yesterday, but I'm returning to my original eternal state of being when I was complete, whole within myself, full of light, full of goodness. I keep this as my aim. And I keep reminding myself of who I truly am. I start to listen to my conscience. Start to give more and more respect to myself. I have self-value, self-honor. And in my self-talk, I change it to a self-talk that is uplifting, empowering, beneficial, forgiving, accepting. What I couldn't get from maybe even my physical parents, family members, friends. I can now give that to myself. I become free of dependency. I take God's light to let go, to free myself, and to fill myself with peace and pure love. God's love is unconditional, selfless, and absolutely empowering. I heal myself in this way. I take responsibility. And I let go of what I cannot control. I stop worrying. I stop fixing. But I take responsibility for myself to make sure that under all circumstances, I'm able to respond more and more and more frequently on the basis of my divinity. I give that first to myself and then in my relationship with others. Moment by moment, ask yourself and choose to be happy, to be peaceful right now, as this is your inner property. And to be happy, to be peaceful is to 100% independent from anything physical or from anyone. Give that to yourself and then generously share it with others. It doesn't matter what others do. It matters what I do. Because I am the one who has to face the consequences of what I do. Forgive, let go, forget, and realign yourself to be in the light, moment by moment. Om Shanti. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. And have a good evening.